Welcome to Fouts Boxing Theory, Crawford versus Madrimov. Was it a robbery? Scoring and strategy analysis, part one of three. Okay, go ahead and give the video a like, a comment, and subscribe. Subscribe to the channel if you want to find parts two and three, which is going to be rounds, 5 through 12. But we're going to be doing 1 through 4 today. Talking about all the close punches, going frame by frame, talking about what's landing, what's not, talk about scoring and strategy, yada, yada, yada. But let's go ahead and get into it. And if you're new to the channel, by the way, I'm the first coach in history to be able to crack punching power and understanding how to teach punching power to anybody. I'm also a professional striking coach for boxing and MMA, yada, yada, yada. But let's get into it. So first off, we've got Israil Madrimov using that little bit of coiling right there to get planted to the ground and kind of control a little bit of what Crawford's doing. And Crawford's going to be using his lead hand to control space and then peel and take a step off the line, allowing him to what I call leash at Madrimov and move around. Okay, this gives him infinite space to move around, so he can continue looking for better opportunities to find opportunities to score. Now, as Madrimov brings his weight to the front foot, Crawford looks to isolate him from getting to the front foot for too long, and too long would be any time long enough to allow him to throw a punch or land a punch after making it to the front foot and getting planted, right? So, again, we have Crawford here starting out southpaw here, circling to the right, circling around, and I want to point out here strategically, Crawford's able to make it all the way around here, right? And Madrimov didn't really cut the ring off through any of these points of contact on the ring. And it's very, very, very important to understand that. That has a very, very dramatic effect on the scoring output of somebody like Madrimov. Now, as Madrimov comes to the front foot, he's going to try to get his weight to the front foot so he can get planted and start letting punches go. But before he can get his head over his front leg, Crawford looks to isolate him with these kind of stepping jabs here with a very, very good timing. Again, this is going to have a significant impact on the fight, even though it doesn't. He hasn't scored yet. Strategically slowing down the pace of Madrimov and not allowing him again to start getting into a position to score. But we can kind of see where the fight kind of starts to take place, right? Again, Madrimov trying to get to that point where he can get there, and again, as we can see him not really cutting the ring off, not really finding an opportunity to score. We did see him giving a little bit of coiling here. He's going to kind of go down here and give him a little bit of that feinting here, but he's trying to look for this right here, boom, this jab to the body here. And again, this was one of those moves that if you guys watched my pre-fight film study that I predicted was going to be a very, very, very major source of offense for Madrimov. Now again, Crawford trying to alienate him from the front foot, not let him get those little feints off. And again, Madrimov's going to make it to this position here, makes it to the front foot, and he decides, okay, I shot my little feint to the body last time, nothing came. And this is going to be one of Madrimov's most consistent sources of offense for the beginning of the fight. Okay. Now, as we kind of take a look at that again, that's one of the first punches that Madrimov is going to land in the fight, and again, one of his more consistent sources of offense. Now, some of the angles are not very good here, and it's very tough to tell, but Madrimov trying to get to the front foot, and we see Crawford throwing that jab and then having a little bit of control jab to prevent Madrimov from being able to follow him up. Very, very interesting there. Now, Madrimov landing a jab to the body, and again, very, very consistent source of offense for him as Crawford looks to circle. However, not a very dramatic or dynamic punch, and Crawford already looking to start controlling him as he comes in here with this shot here. Now, Crawford is not going to always get a lot of credit for these types of shots, but we're going to kind of point out some of the ones that he lands like that when his opponent's coming in that wind up being more punch-like. But we've got a couple of jabs to the body so far for Madrimov in the beginning of the first round. Now, again, controlling him. Now, a decent shot here to the body from Madrimov after landing those jabs to the body, going with the rear hand to the body and kind of landing a decent shot, maybe putting Madrimov up a couple of points. Now, this is one of the most important and crucial things about the entire fight here. This is one of the things that prevented Madrimov, in my opinion, from really being able to box with Crawford on the outside and steal those points is when he throws this shot. And again, if you guys check out my pre-fight film study, Madrimov over shifts, right? He's going to be using this momentum to kind of come forward and explode into that shot a little bit too much, and it leaves openings here. So this is going to be one of those places that Crawford's going to look to take advantage of Madrimov as Madrimov falls off balance even after landing a good shot, which will put him in position to get hit. Now, He's trying to land that same shot that he just landed to the body, but he tries to land it to the head here. It's getting completely picked off. I want you guys to pay very, very close attention to that. That shot was completely parried. And now Crawford is actually landing a very, very, very nice power punch here with his right cross here. It's actually a very, very good shot from him. Very, very sharp. Boom, very sharp, very short, landing right on his face. And again, it's one of those shots that this looked like a good shot from Madrimov, but it's completely parried, and the scoring here is just not. It's very hidden here. What's actually going on? Very, very good shot from Crawford. Very sneaky, very powerful. That's the same shot that he knocked out Kell Brook with. Okay, so we know that he's got power in that move. Now, following Madrimov back. Take a look at Madrimov when he gets pushed off the line here. Boom. This is very, 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 very important because he moves off the line when he gets feinted here. He didn't just pull. He completely abandoned his position. Now when he gets back on the line here, Crawford says, okay, it's time for me to get that point back. And he's able to get lead foot dominance here and land this rear hand shot. Again, very, very, very sneaky, hard shot. Another thing I want to point out when we're talking about things that are within the bounds of the rules, I do want to point out that while he's trying to defend himself, he is getting hit cleanly right on the face here by a hard power shot, putting Crawford very likely ahead in scoring here because he just landed the last shot as well, another hard shot. He's, two power shots to two jabs and one power shot, but Madrimov is kind of ducking his face and putting his face down to below. If he was able to time this shot a little bit better, he could force Crawford to punch him on the top of the head and break his hand. Again, it's very, very, very illegal, right? To be ducking and putting your head low like this. It's very dangerous for the other fighters. You may break your hand. If you're not a power puncher, if you're not a striker, you wouldn't get it. You wouldn't understand how dangerous it is to punch somebody on the top of the head. But Crawford, luckily landing right on Madrimov's face. But again, very, very interesting, pushing him off the line, and pay attention to that rhythm step as he moves off the line. This, as he moves and brings his feet back to the line, is going to be a very, very, very common pattern for Crawford to look to attack and isolate. Okay, now, again, we're going to be taking a look at almost all of we're going to be looking at all of the clean shots, but almost all of the grazing shots as well. And this one here, one of those shots that kind of makes it just through the guard of Madrimov, landing right on his face, just a tiny bit. Not the hardest shot, again, but Crawford is very, very fast, very sharp. And again, there's a reason why Madrimov is not just jumping on the line and throwing punches at him. Now, look at him, Madrimov, trying to get into this little rhythm here as he tries to get on the line and kind of bounce and use that momentum to kind of threaten Crawford's position. Okay, now Crawford's going to be paying attention to this. I want you guys to take a look at Crawford when Madrimov gets on the line here and he puts his weight down. Watch Crawford kind of pull back just a little bit, right? Now as he gets back on the line, he does the same thing, and look at how Crawford doesn't allow him to cross his line, right? Now he does the same thing, pulls his head back, but he's also going to be shooting a jab to the body. Very, very, very sneaky shot. Really, really, really good shot from Crawford, and completely kind of taking advantage of that little bit of timing from Madrimov. Now, very, very hidden shot again. It's very difficult to see, but he's actually landing a very, very, very clean jab. Again, Crawford did not get a lot of credit in the fight, especially in the beginning rounds. As we're going to take a look again at all the clean punches of the first round here, we're not almost through them, but we're going to go through them. But a lot of these punches, Crawford really didn't get a lot of good, clean credit for. Now again, coming forward, jab to the body, and again, Crawford is actually landing a strike here as well, right on Madrimov's face, while he's landing a jab to the body. And what Madrimov is doing, it is very obvious when Madrimov lands a punch. It's not always obvious when Crawford is landing his own, when he's countering. Again, Madrimov trying to get into his rhythm, trying to get that little pace, that little rhythm going, trying to get that little bounce, gets controlled by Crawford. Now, gets onto the line, boom, gets into that beat. This is normally where Crawford would control him right there, right? Get boom. And he didn't. So now Crawford, again, is going to get pushed a little bit back. He didn't get the control off. And now Crawford is actually leaning toward his back foot. And Madrimov is able to kind of sneak this little shot in here simply because he didn't abandon his positions to the controls that Crawford was using, those little lead hands, right? Lands a decent shot, pretty decent shot. And again, not a shot that he was going to land to the head either. I want you to pay attention to. He's up here waiting for that shot to come and trying to get under it a little bit here. And again, it winds up being to the body, a good shot against Crawford. So, kind of even a little bit in numbers, but Crawford's power shots have been to the head and Madrimov's have been to the body. And I might personally like landing punches to somebody's head over to the body. Now, again, landing a little bit of a clipping shot here with his jab. Boom. Maybe this one's getting picked off, but you can see it's kind of touching his head here. And again, he's very, very quick. Pull counter like motion. And then again, very, very, very important for the overall scoring. Okay, is this shot landing? Is it getting parried? Kind of touching him. But look at Madrimov shifting forward with that shot and then getting clipped with another power shot right after he was able to actually do some decent work. So not even coming out necessarily ahead in this sequence, kind of coming behind one punch. Even though he did land a decent shot, it's always obvious so far in the first round that he landed all these clean, decent shots, right? Now, parried, missed, and then look at Crawford landing a combination. Now, I do think most of these punches miss. Boom. This punch lands. The first punch that he throws, the second one, very glancing miss. And then the third one, I think is, I can't really tell. I think it might be hitting his arm here. But Crawford has basically complete control over that rear hand that he had already parried last time and then tried to counter. And now he's parrying it and then following up with the combination, again, showing that he has complete control over that rear hand. He's able to counter it and score once. And that's the end of the first round. So those were all the punches in the first round. And somehow the announcers and everybody gave round one to Madrimov, and I actually favored Crawford. I think strategically he had a better strategy. Madrimov was just following him around, eating jabs, walking into them. Still got hip clean by a couple of power shots. Madrimov landed a couple of power shots to the body, couple of random jabs to the body, nothing very clean to the head. I thought, again, it was a very clear Crawford round. So moving into the next round, Madrimov again being leashed, puts his little control out here, does his little coiling, gets planted here. Crawford follows him back with the body shot. Okay, lands a decent shot. Okay, again, a lot of stuff that just looks, it's very, very tough to tell if it's landing. It's very, very, and now Madrimov is going to try to do the same thing in a few seconds, but actually gets controlled here. And then again, right around the guard here, again, one of those shots that's really, really tough to tell if it's landing. But we can clearly tell that Crawford is landing this shot if we watch it real time, right? It's actually a decent shot, okay? And again, playing off of that rhythm and that timing that Madrimov is looking to use, up, down, following him back and catching him with that shot. Again, all these things make it very, very difficult for Madrimov to find places to find punches. Now, again, very, very clean body shot, the same way that Crawford landed his earlier in the round, following that lead hand control back, boom, just following it back. Nothing special, right? But it's very noticeable, right? Whereas that last hook that Crawford landed on Madrimov looked like, oh, maybe it's glancing, maybe it's this, right? Now, again, Madrimov trying to get on the line with Crawford, Crawford timing him as he gets that front foot to the line, boom, boom. Now, again, Madrimov is landing a jab to the body, but look at the hook that Crawford is landing upstairs. Again, actually landing a real punch, and Madrimov is barely landing a jab to the body. But we can see that in real time, this is an actual strike. He's actually smacking him with this shot. And sometimes it might actually look like it's just a control, but that was actually a punch. And again, winding up coming out ahead on that sequence, in my opinion. A little bit of active guard from Madrimov. He's going to go to the right side of the line, left side of the line, right side of the line, move toward the left side of the line. Now Crawford's going to push into the right side of the line because that's his next natural motion, and then follow him up again, smacking him with a little bit of a hook right here, scoring yet another pretty solid, decent punch. Madrimov getting into his rhythm, moves off the line, a little bit of a rhythm step here, moves back onto the line, right? Jab to the body, again, getting touched a little bit. Is it a hard punch? Is it just a control? Sometimes Crawford's throwing it, sometimes he's controlling here. But again, most of the punches here that Madrimov is landing, kind of just random jabs to the body. He's not really landing anything substantial, getting into his little rhythm there. Jab to the body yet again. And again, I knew he was going to be pretty crafty with that shot, even though it was the same shot that Spence was using, and then he was able to drop Spence for him. Madrimov is a real fighter. Errol Spence, he's going to be one of those anyway, he's not shot or anything. He just doesn't have head movement. He doesn't have an active guard. He's predictable. And Madrimov was able to hide that shot a lot better. Now, in the second round, toward the end of the second round, this is the first shot that Madrimov lands that's pretty clean, right, to the face. Lands a decent shot here. Okay, and I just wanted to show it a couple times from this angle here. Gives him a little look here, right? And that's like one of the better shots that Madrimov lands in like the whole fight. A really, really decent shot following that jab to the body back, or following that control and getting under that shot there. Again, is Madrimov winning this round because of that first shot right there? We've seen him take multiple hooks, right? Kind of getting touched by this little jab here, getting back onto the line front foot, controlling the lead hand, hook coming around the guard, right? Now we take that again, take another look at that again. Is it landing clean? Is it landing at all? Boom. Okay, right on the shoulder a little bit. Tough to tell though, but not giving him credit for that one. Madrimov getting the pressure on, feinting here. Boom. And then a clean jab. Kinda, not really. Oops, I missed my little frame here. Boom. And then again, rear hand shifting forward. A little bit of missing right there. And again, all that extra movement from Madrimov. Nothing landed there, so we're not going to score anything. I just wanted to kind of show that stuff a little bit. Excellent, excellent shot to the body from Crawford. And then controlling space here. Very interesting because Madrimov didn't really look to follow up or counter a lot of those shots that Crawford would steal when Crawford would steal shots. But when Madrimov would throw shots, Crawford would a lot of times engage and throw with him. And I think a lot of times it kind of hid when Crawford was doing something good because it would go unanswered from Madrimov. Madrimov wouldn't even try to get any get back or anything. But here we have Crawford getting on the line, landing some very, very clean body shots here. Boom, gets on the line, bop, bop, landing one of those obviously very clean. Now maybe not the other one, but for the most part, Crawford, it felt like he could kind of do whatever he wanted at will. Now, this is another shot that Madrimov is landing kind of clean. You can see it's kind of moving past his head. It looks like Crawford might be missing his counter here. And then Madrimov is again going to try to get back on the line. And again, that's a decent shot right there, all at the end of the round. Okay. But the first one, it looked like it missed. That one looked like it got him. And then there was another shot, the one where the frame started on him, landing that. But Madrimov landed maybe 3 power punches. It looked like Crawford outlanded him even in the second round, even though a lot of the stuff that he was landing wasn't super obvious, right? So again, round 2, in my opinion, I thought was close still, but I still gave it to Crawford. Okay, now if you disagree, that's fine. Go ahead, leave your comments. That's fine. We have 3 parts of this to do. We're going to be doing all 3 parts over the next 2 days. But getting on the line, boom, boom, getting with a 2-3 and hitting him with that 2-3 on the inside here. But look at Madrimov trying to get on the line, boom, trying to give him those little feints. And again, look at the little rhythm step. Brings his front foot forward, bop, brings his feet together to leave the line so he doesn't get countered. And then gets back on the line, and Crawford hits him with a 2-3 here, right? Maybe not the cleanest, maybe not, but it's very, very, very important to point out that Crawford is picking up on that timing at the beginning of the third round and already looking to start isolating Madrimov from it. Getting on that timing, again, getting to that line, coming here, and you can see him going down, up, boom, control, down, up, getting control of those jabs now from Crawford and starting to make moves on them, right? Again, another body shot here from him. But again, what's happening when he throws that body shot? Again, he's getting touched by that little hook there from Crawford. You can't really see it that cleanly if it's a punch or if it's just a control. But Crawford is very, very fast and sharp, shooting it as a double right there. And some of them do wind up being punches. Now again, jumping on the line, throwing a little combination, boom, boom, boom. Looks like he gets him with one of them. But again, take a look at his feet. He's getting planted here. Bop, bop. Oof. The margins are so small here. Very, very glancing blow here. Nothing clean. You don't have to give him any credit there. That's fine. Um, but again, just these are all the, even the glanciest punches. There's nothing that was going to be missed here. Now, this is very, very interesting because Madrimov, boom, giving him the little feint here. And then he's going to be touching the ground here. Boom, giving him another hard feint here. And now he's going to get to the line. Bah! And then Crawford, woo, look at how close that is, right? Almost gets him with a really good shot. I don't think he hit him real clean, even though he kind of does buckle down like that. I think he was just trying to get under a shot. But it looked really, really clean on first glance. Now again, Madrimov trying to get to that line, giving him that feint, boom. Crawford biting on it, but again, showing why there was such little contact from Madrimov, how little often he could get to the line. And then again, following him up here, again, very, very clean shot right on that eye, right on that forehead right there. Again, his eye and his forehead was bruised up quite bad. Boom, boom. and then again trying to follow him back, and then again Crawford showing, even though that shot comes out, he's ready to follow up, ready to strike, preventing Madrimov from continuing to follow up and throw shots there. Crawford getting on the line, just a little bit of control. Again, very, very, very interesting because now he's parrying that jab to the body here and then countering up top here. Okay, now again, it's not the most clean shot here, and that's not really necessarily the most important. But again, it's one of the reasons why Madrimov was less able to get his offense going, less confident in his ability to score against Crawford, because Crawford would demonstrate in so many areas that, oh, I'm ready to counter from here. Oh, you want to attack me here? I'm ready to counter. Boom, 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 circling, moving him. Now, take a look at the footwork pattern from Madrimov, right? Crawford tries to pendulum against the ropes. Boom, changes direction. Now, Madrimov doesn't want to change positions and give up any reach or give up any any time. He wants to get Crawford against the ropes. So he's kind of just walking to the left, but not changing position. So his leg is going to be kind of backwards here, and he winds up walking right into this right cross here. An excellent trap from Crawford. And again, just one of those shots that he would land quite consistently that would break Madrimov's position and stop Madrimov from putting pressure on him, that I don't think he really got great credit for. Now, again, following him back, countering the jab here. Again, beautiful shot, a hard shot. And again, Madrimov's eye actually looked like hamburger at the end of the fight. Now, again, Madrimov gets pushed off the line, penduluming forward, getting to the front foot. Crawford immediately attacking, breaking his position with the jab. Don't give him credit for the point. I just want to point out the strategy of it, not allowing Madrimov, again, to get on the line with him. Glancing blow there, okay? And again, Madrimov getting caught here. Clean here, right on the chin. Again, Crawford just such a sniper with that shot. Random jab to the body from Madrimov. Okay, cool. Is he winning any points for that? Is that a super effective shot? Is he hurting Crawford? Is he mostly okay, just taking a lot of shots? Now, countering that jab to the from Crawford. Now, this was an interesting thing because he starts getting comfortable, seeing that lead hand control. Boom, lands a really good shot. One of the better shots that Madrimov did wind up landing was that shot. So I wanted to isolate that clip and show that right here. But Crawford usually getting right back to the line and trying to get his get back, trying to get in there. Now, catching Madrimov with a really good shot here. Madrimov gets him too, but I want to point out that Crawford is the one that follows up and throws punches. Crawford's the one following up. I think that he winds up landing the better punch. He had better control over the line. He's the one that got to follow up, even though I don't think he landed anything. You don't just say, well, Madrimov landed one punch, Crawford landed one punch right there. It's even. We'll see who landed more punches at the end of the round. Even though they both landed a punch here, Crawford won this sequence, and that negates the punch that he landed, right? You can't just go by punches landed because that punch was in relation to his punch, right? So if you scored it by sequences, it gives him a better opportunity, or it gives a more realistic opportunity of what's actually going on in the fight, right? For who wins the sequence. Now he gets on the line, gives him that feint. A jab doesn't come, but he gives him the pull counter like motion, lands an excellent shot, and then an excellent shot again. And again, most of the sequences, right, I think belonged to Crawford in this regard. Now, a very interesting sequence. Again, giving him that little feints here. Giving him the little feints. Again, jumping on the line. Boom, comes here. And now again, he's going to go over the top here with that shot. He's been having a couple of successful shots with those rear hands. But again, he's been getting hit with many more right hands from Crawford. But when he throws a shot, pay attention to, look at him falling off balance here. Look at Crawford. He still gets hit on the top of the head, right? But we can see that because he's shifting, because all the technique stuff, he's kind of hitting him with a hammer fist here. It's not even really like a legal blow. Crawford's fine. He's not even tripping. You're going to give Madrimov a point for that, but we can clearly see that it's actually not a scoring blow. He's hammer fisting him. Don't get hammer fisted by Israil Madrimov, whatever you do. But even if you were scoring that, even if you weren't scoring that completely fairly, it wasn't even that great of a punch. If you score it completely fair, you can't even score it at all. Now, coming in here with the 1-1 here, and again, still getting smacked by Crawford here. Now, this is also very important because he's smacking Crawford, or Crawford smacking him, he's getting hit here, boom, because Madrimov is getting disrupted here, right? So we know that it's a decent shot. because it is actually affecting Madrimov's position. Now Madrimov going, a little bit of monkey mode here, right? Putting a little bit of pressure on him with the active guard. Pull here, moves into position to throw the rear hand. It touches the glove and then kind of glances up off of Crawford here. Not a landed blow, right? Now he's going to try another little thing. Again, I thought this was a really cool thing. Crawford landing a shot right there. Now, Madrimov throwing this shot to counter it, right? Because earlier we saw in this round he was starting to get a little bit of control of Crawford's lead hand and then fight off of it, right? So here he is. Crawford's parrying that shot, right? And then he's jumping into this shot after. Now, very, very interesting stuff because the jab comes, boom, cracks Madrimov. Is Crawford going to get points for that? It's a power jab, we know. Parries this shot here. Madrimov shifting forward, pulls, gets his weight down, and it springs into this leaping cross here with an excellent shot against Crawford. Man, really, really, really sick shot. But all that energy for what, right? One drop of blood. Now, this was much, much, much more like what's going on here, right? Gets that rear hand going, parried again, misses the shot, and then Crawford comes back, counter, miss, counter, and I think he hits him on the arm as he's leaving, but Crawford, complete control over that rear hand there, and again, Madrimov shooting that shot, shifting forward, rolling under the line, because he's forced to, because his technique is not good enough to throw that move completely sharp. All right, moving into round 4. Now again, we had a couple of decent punches from Madrimov, but was that enough to negate all the clean crosses that we clearly see Crawford landing when we kind of slow it down? And again, Crawford's so fast and snappy that oftentimes it can be kind of difficult to cleanly tell if he's landing that shot. Now, he's going to be doing that little rhythm, boom, and then instead of going to the jab to the body, look at how he changes it to jab to the head. Pretty sick, pretty good job from Madrimov. Crawford still kind of intercepting him with his own cross, preventing him from following up, even though we give Madrimov credit for winning that sequence right there. We wouldn't give credit to Bud for landing that punch, right? If we were following those same rules, right? Because he lost that sequence. But again, more importantly than him losing that sequence and Madrimov, he's isolating Madrimov from following up on one of the very few opportunities he does have to enter the line in a meaningful way. So again, strategically, Madrimov just so far behind in almost all of these sequences. Boom. Now again, pushing him off the line. What does he do? Bop, bop, and now he brings his legs together, takes that step onto the line. Crawford's already blasting into the shot. 2, 3. Right? Excellent, excellent work right there. I think he lands only one of those shots, however, but he's able to protect that punch by throwing another fast and hard, powerful punch. Now, decent shot from Madrimov. He's penduluming here, down, moves up, right? Kind of touches him a little bit. If you look real quick, right? Crawford is kind of tagging him too first. It looks like it might snap right through. And then again, I would still give Madrimov the sequence, right? Tries leaping, barely touches him, right? Looks like a decent shot though. And it's one of those ones that looks so obvious, you just give Madrimov a point, but it winds up being a very, very low impact shot. Now, jumping on the line with the 1, cracking him with that shot, missing the 2. And I just want to point out, you're not allowed to duck your head like this. It's very dangerous if somebody hits you on the top of the head. Okay? Even if you're losing, even if you're an ex-Olympian, even if this move is still illegal, you're not allowed to duck your head like this. Okay? Now, Crawford didn't get value by coming back with that hook right there, but we can see that it was a little bit open. Body shot here, and then Crawford smacking him with the hook here. Again, not a lot of this is super clean, super easy to tell. So you don't have to give points, but I do 100% know that Madrimov is landing the body shot here, 100%, and I do think Crawford is landing the hook. If you don't think he's landing the hook, again, it's a power shot. Maybe it's not, maybe it is. I think it is, but if you don't agree, you don't have to score it. But again, I think Crawford just winds up being ahead most of this fight. A little bit of feinting here, tries to make it back to the front foot. Crawford rips that little hook cross thing, right? Doesn't wind up getting Madrimov, but that one does, right? Touching him there. And then again, touching him here. Yet again, trying to get to the front foot very, very cleanly. And you can see disrupting, pushing his head back, right? Very, very hard shot. Again, a lot of these punches that Crawford is landing are just excellent, excellent counters, excellent, clean, crisp shots, and it's just not that easy to tell, right? Now, very cool sequence too, because Madrimov is going to be up here, right? And he's trying to get low, get his little feint in. Ooh, gives him a little feint here, moves back on the line with Crawford, gives him another little feint here, pushes Crawford off the line. Tries to get back on the line, gives him the feint, and Crawford times it. Boom, throwing that little cross right there and controlling Madrimov, not allowing Madrimov to get value out of his pull right there, right? Because this may have been one of those moments where Madrimov goes down and comes up with the headshot. Remember how he keeps trying to get here, boom, and then come up? And then again, Crawford reading it and isolating him. Again, it's not the greatest punch here, but doing a good job of isolating him from one of the only sources of offense that he consistently gets to, right? By getting off of his pull. Oh, and by the way, if you guys are interested in learning how to fight, learning boxing, check out the Fouts Boxing Academy. It's an awesome program, full of over 100 drills to teach you the correct patterns that are going to teach you how to fight. If you guys want to learn how to establish patterns like Crawford, how to learn and comprehend what he's doing while he's moving around and circling, and also if you want to be in a coaching program with other fighters learning the same things as you, going through the same drills as you, so you can learn from them, with them, and help them grow as well. Check out the Fouts Boxing Academy. We're doing a lot of Fouts Boxing betting as well. Obviously, I picked Crawford for this fight. A few things that I got wrong. I picked Cruz to beat Valenzuela. I thought that when Cruz got close to Valenzuela, if he wasn't allowed to hold, like Romero wasn't allowed to hold, that he would be able to catch him. So I guess I was wrong on that one. Rayo was able to survive and do a little leashing, do a little stuff like that. I also thought Anderson was actually going to wind up beating Bacoli, but Anderson would just sit on the line a little bit too much, a little bit too early with Bacoli. And man, as someone in the Discord put it, he did his best George Foreman and was swinging away. It was pretty great to see. We picked Andy Cruz to knock out the other guy, Moran. We were right about that. I think we even got the right round. And then what else? There was some other fights too. But we're going to be going over doing some boxing betting, talking, doing the film study, talking, teaching, and using the theories that are present in the Fouts Boxing Academy drills that I'm using to teach you guys to fight. I'm going to use those drills as templates to teach you guys why these guys will or will not win fights. Okay. Now, one of the things about the fight, if Rayo Valenzuela was supposed to win the fight, he had to box and leash Cruz very well. So he did a good job. Good job, Rayo. I think Rayo is like, I think I said it. I didn't think he was going to beat Pitbull. I think that, this being one of the first fights he tries to box a guy like Pitbull, I thought he would fail. But if he could pull it, he could show that he's like one of the top guys in the division, because Pitbull Cruz is no easy fight. However, anyway, check it out, you guys. There's like over 40 members in there. And if you guys, it's $20 a month for coaching. And if you guys want private coaching, it's $400 a year. And again, it's a huge community of people sending in drills, posting stuff. We do boxing betting, we do film study schools. And the people who send in their videos, their training videos, they get analyzed, they get coaching videos, and those are all available to the public for the Fouts Boxing Academy. But yeah, it's a really cool and unique experience. And if you guys are from a less economically capable part of the world, you're from someplace and you would like a scholarship, you would like help with tuition, just like any real school or academy, I have special programs that I can help you guys with if you still want to learn but you can't afford $20 an hour or $20 a month, which by the way is not that much still, or if you can't afford the yearly, which was $160 a year, which again is less than $20 a month by far. You get a 30% discount. It's massive. But let me know. Send me a message. Message me on Instagram. Send me an email. Okay, I'll talk to you. I'll see what you guys want to do. This is an opportunity for people who are not part of coaching and who want to watch just film study, who want to do boxing betting, who want to learn along with other fighters. But you guys can help joining and help pay and help the tuition of some of these fighters. Some of these guys are really strong and really in shape, and you know. Anyway, it's a really, really cool program, really cool place for people to learn Fouts Boxing Academy for film study and Fouts Boxing Academy stuff for coaching, and kind of bring you guys, these two communities together, and it's interesting. So anyway, back to the film study, coming in with the 1-2, boom, shifting into this other two, lands a good shot here, and again, look at him falling forward and struggling. Okay, he does wind up landing a good shot, so we're going to give him a point for that, no big deal. Okay, another excellent shot from Madrimov. Crawford barely misses his parry this way. Boom, misses. And again, decent shot. These are some among the better shots that Madrimov lands. And now right after he lands that shot, Crawford times him again, back foot, taking the front foot from that gather step. Again, this is not a rhythm step, right? But he was pendulum walking forward. Again, it's not a real thing. Bringing your feet together to come forward, right? It's just something that happens. Crawford walks him right into a little uppercut, a really good shot, and pushes him off the line. And again, kind of getting a little bit get back of that last shot that he ate, kind of evening those ones out, you know. And again, different sequences, so you give them separate points individually, right? Jab, pull, and then here, look at Crawford coming back with a counter here to the body. Very, very good shot here. Jab, pull under this shot, body shot. Very, very reminiscent of Sean Porter. And again, landing another great power shot. Again, another one of those shots that Crawford just kind of lands casually that kind of goes unnoticed sometimes, can be very difficult for you to quantify. Now, getting on the line, Madrimov is going to again front foot, back foot, back foot, and then he brings his feet together, front foot, Crawford, boom, 2, miss, 3, hits his glove, you can see, miss, right? But very, very close margins, very, 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 very fast. Now, very interesting because he's going to get on the line here, bring his feet together, boom. And he's going to break into this shot here, goes down, shoots this shot. And again, you can kind of see it basically is not really landing on Crawford. It looks so clean, it looks so good. And then Crawford pumping his little cross right here. You can see him looking to get control of Madrimov after. And that's just one of those little shots that looks in real time. Man, it looks like it gets him. Man, maybe it does kind of get him. It's just not super hard, but like, again, he's kind of rolling with it. Not a great shot here. But again, it's one of those interesting things from Madrimov where it's like out of nowhere, it just looks like it's such a great shot, even though, again, walks right into this shot, which actually is a great shot from Crawford. Lands a really, really good shot. And again, feet together, boom. He's going to time him getting to the front foot. Whack! Smacks him with a really good shot. And again, in the very, very, very next sequence, right after getting tagged with the rear hand, he's following up, getting that point back, landing the same shot. And then he's going to follow it up with another shot here. Boom, boom. And again, he gets kind of pushed off and smacked with the wrist and misses his follow-ups. But again, nothing clean here from Madrimov. And again, not even landing the better of those two get back shots here. Now again, getting it back on the line, eating across here. The rear hand comes, parried, easy, shifting forward, and then Crawford again is countering him with this as he shifts forward. Right now, you don't have to give him credit for landing this shot, but it's a very, 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 very tough shot, very sharp, very short, and it kind of looks like it does touch him. You can see his arm on his head right here, but it kind of like goes up, and you can kind of see his head kind of ride up a little bit. But decent shot right there from Crawford. And again, off of his little jab here, boom, lands a shot here. Madrimov's trying to, after eating that shot, follow up. It gets parried. So again, so many of these optics, like it's so tough to see some of these shots, but Crawford just a hair ahead in almost all of the strategy here. Rear shot, pierces the guard, lands on his head here. And again, just almost invincible, right? Gets his head off the line from Madrimov's counter. Beautiful work here. Now again, this is rounds 1, 2, 3, and 4. Jab, pull, pull, countering again. And again, the margins are just so small, right? Boom, boom. Now this one looking like just barely touching him, right? You can see that he's just barely getting the little clip in here. Boom, boom, right? And again, the margins are so small. And again, Crawford landing a very, very, very good shot. And again, he's going to go first here, right? Bop. He's going to try to pull. Boom. He pulls. Whap. And again, he's only getting him for these very, very, very tiny beats, right? Very, very slim margins. And again, there was a reason why his face looked like hamburger meat, jab to the body from Madrimov at the end of the fight, right? Now, Madrimov gets on the line, throws this rear hand. Crawford is slipping his head. I don't think Crawford is getting hit here. I think it's hitting him on the chest, right? Boom, and Crawford's landing his own body shot here. And then again, following up, boom, boom, right? And again, I think Crawford's landing 2 shots here. Maybe he's only landing the first one, but this one's clean. This one's hitting him in the shoulder here. But again, Crawford pulling this shot. And then again, look at that right cross from Crawford again on Madrimov's head. It just looks to me like he's basically dominating Madrimov in almost every sequence, landing multiple punches to Madrimov's usually secular shot, single shots mostly from him. Oh, is that and then here's the last clip here, following him back again, almost parrying this shot, not even landing a super clean shot here from Madrimov, and then again getting on the line here, trying to follow up. This was actually a good shot here from Madrimov, really, really good shot. Now what's going to happen? Crawford immediately gets back on the line with him, stuffs him here right in the chin here, stuffs him here with another hook. Now Madrimov has landed 1 punch to his 2 punches, and Crawford's putting the pressure on him again. And again, every time it seems like Madrimov lands a good shot, does something good, Crawford immediately follows up, and it makes it look like, there's just isn't that much space there for Madrimov to really be out pointing Crawford in the first few rounds. It looks like Crawford always catches up, finds those little get back shots, and recloses the gap between him and his opponent. The only thing is, Crawford just wasn't super active himself. And because of the lack of activity and the very, very, very obvious optics of some of the punches that Madrimov landed, it makes it appear that he's outlanding Crawford, especially because so many of the punches that you see Crawford landing, like the right hooks, they're not dropping or hurting Madrimov. Madrimov was really strong, but it's also really easy to confuse them with just a regular jab. And, regular jabs don't do to Madrimov what Madrimov's face looked like. So I actually thought it was pretty crazy when I watched the first few rounds. And again, if you guys want to watch my live broadcast and commentary, it's posted up in the Fouts Boxing Academy. It's also posted on Patreon if you trust Patreon instead. But the live broadcast and stuff is posted there. But again, I think that Crawford won the first, 4 rounds. There's an argument you might be able to make because, Madrimov landed 2 right hands in the rounds 3 and 4. Towards the end, and those were some among the better shots that he landed in the whole first third of the fight. But the announcers all gave Madrimov round 1 and 2, and Crawford round 3 and 4. So those shots weren't enough to win the rounds. But what did Madrimov do in round 1 besides land a couple of body shots? Right, he landed a couple of rear hands to the body, a bunch of jabs to the body, and we clearly saw Crawford landing to the head. Anyway. My score, and let me know what your guys' scores are. We're going to go through these rounds 5 through 8 tomorrow and then 9 through 12 the next day. But let me know what your guys' scores are. Those are the clean shots and the most impressive sequences and all the stuff and the strategy that I was able to pick up on my first quarter watch through. But yeah, see you guys.